My parents left me at a train station as a joke. Let's see how she finds her way home. I never went back. 20 years later, they found me. This morning, 29 missed calls. I was 11 years old when my parents thought it would be funny to leave me behind at the train station. It was supposed to be a little joke, in their words. Something along the lines of, let's see how she finds her way home. She's smart. She'll figure it out. We had been visiting my aunt in another city, and on the way back, the train was packed. My father always had this cruel streak. He liked pulling pranks that were never really harmless. My mother went along with it, because to her, everything was just a laugh. I remember standing there on the platform, holding my small backpack, when I realized the train doors had closed, and they were still inside. I thought they'd jump out at the last second, or maybe the train would stop again just a few meters away. But it didn't. The train rolled out of the station with my parents looking at me from the window, laughing. My mother even mouthed, "See you at home." At first, I wasn't scared. I thought they'd circle back for me, or call the station office and tell them to watch me. I sat on a bench for an hour, then 2, then 5. Nobody came. When it started to get dark, I asked the ticket officer if anyone had called for me. He shook his head. I gave him my name. Nothing. I walked out of that station sometime past midnight, with the little money I had saved from helping neighbors with groceries. That was the night I decided I wasn't going back. It wasn't an impulsive decision. It was clarity. That joke had told me everything I needed to know. My parents didn't love me. Not in the way parents are supposed to. I made it work. I found people who actually cared. I grew up, I built a life, and for 20 years, I never once looked back. Until yesterday. Because yesterday, my old childhood neighbor, someone I hadn't spoken to in decades, found me through social media. She messaged me, "Your parents have been looking for you. They found out where you live." This morning, when I woke up, my phone showed 29 missed calls, all from numbers I hadn't saved, but I knew exactly who it was. For the first time in 20 years, my past is clawing its way back. And I don't know if I should answer. I ignored the first flood of calls that morning. I told myself it was a mistake, maybe even a scam. But then, around noon, a single message came through from an unknown number. "It's Mom. Please pick up. We need to talk. It's important." For a second, my stomach dropped. Mom. That word didn't sit right anymore. It hadn't for 2 decades. Against my better judgment, I answered the next call. Her voice was older, raspier, but still familiar. "Sweetheart, is it really you?" I didn't say anything. I just listened, my throat tight. She continued, words tumbling fast, as if afraid I'd hang up. "We've been looking for you all these years. We thought you might have..." She choked up. "Your father is sick. He doesn't have long. Please, we just want to see you. We need you." I finally spoke. My voice sounded colder than I expected. "Funny. You didn't need me when you left me on a train platform." Silence. Then a shaky whisper. "It was just a mistake. A stupid joke. We thought you'd come home. We never thought you'd actually leave us." That made me laugh, bitter and sharp. "You left me, Mom. I was a child. You didn't come back for me. You didn't even call the station. You abandoned me. And now, 20 years later, I'm supposed to run back because you're ready." She tried again. "Please, your father doesn't have much time. He wants to make things right." Couldn't hold back anymore. I told her about the nights I slept in shelters, about the strangers who showed me more kindness than my own parents ever did, about how I had to claw my way into adulthood without a single word from them. She just kept crying, repeating, "We didn't know. We didn't know." But here's the thing, they did know. They knew exactly where they left me that night, and they chose not to come back. I ended the call with 5 words. "You lost me forever." But now the missed calls keep coming. My voicemail is filling up with apologies. Please, even anger. And part of me can't shake the question. Why now? Why after all this time? Because I don't think it's just about my father being sick. The calls didn't stop. If anything, they got more frantic. I muted my phone, but the voicemails poured in anyway. Some were tearful, some were angry. One even said, "You can't ignore us forever. You'll regret this." That didn't sound like grieving parents. That sounded like desperation. Later that week, I got another message, this time not from my mother, but from an unknown email address with a subject line that froze me. "Family inheritance matters." It wasn't spam. Inside was a message from a lawyer's office in my hometown. Apparently, my great-aunt, a woman I barely remembered because my parents kept me away from extended family, had passed away. She left behind a sizable estate. And according to the will, it was supposed to be divided among her surviving niece and her niece's children. That niece was my mother. And the children included me. Suddenly, it all made sense. The timing, the sudden interest in finding me, the emotional guilt trips. They didn't track me down out of love. They needed me to sign papers so the inheritance would go through. I sat there staring at the screen, remembering all the years of silence, the night on the train platform, the way they never once tried to find me when I was a lost child. Now, 20 years later, they only remembered me because of money. That night, I got one final voicemail from my father. His voice was weak, like he was recording from a hospital bed. I know I wasn't a good dad. I know we made mistakes. But this is family. We need you. Don't make the wrong choice, kiddo. Kiddo. That was the first time I'd heard him call me that since I was maybe 6. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel anger. I felt something worse, nothing. Just a hollow space where a daughter's love should have been. Because I realized they weren't calling me for family. They were calling me for business. And the choice was mine. The lawyer confirmed it. Without my signature, the estate couldn't be released. My parents had no legal way around me. For once, the power was mine. I spent days thinking about it. My phone kept buzzing. My inbox filled with pleas, apologies, even threats. My mother begged, "Don't throw away your family over money." My father, weaker each time, tried guilt. "One day, you'll regret this. Blood is blood." But every word they said only dragged me back to that night at the train station. The laughter on their faces as the doors closed, the hours I sat waiting, the moment I realized nobody was coming for me. Family? They made sure I didn't have one. So when the lawyer finally called me for my decision, I said, "I'll sign nothing. If they want that inheritance, they can explain to the court why their only child refuses to be associated with them." The silence on the other end told me he understood more than he could legally say. I didn't block my parents, not yet. I wanted them to feel what I felt that night 20 years ago. Waiting, hoping, realizing no one was coming. The last voicemail I ever listened to came a week later. My mother's voice, trembling, desperate. "How could you do this to us? We're your parents. After everything we gave you." And that was the last lie I needed to hear. They hadn't given me anything but trauma. I deleted the message, blocked every number, closed the email thread. Then, for the first time since that night at the train station, I felt free. Because this time, it wasn't them leaving me. It was me leaving them, and I wasn't ever going back. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.